Hey there, happiness seekers. Welcome to Elevate Daily, where we seek to give advice that can make your lives brighter and more fulfilling. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked back at an older version of yourself and missed them? Maybe it was the younger you, the more hopeful you, the more energetic you, the version of you that laughed more easily, dreamed more freely, or simply felt lighter. And sometimes, without even realizing it, you start thinking, what happened to me? If you've ever felt that quiet ache of missing who you used to be, this video is for you. Because today, we're talking about why we feel nostalgic for past versions of ourselves, and why that feeling may not mean what you think it means. And before we dive in, if you enjoy thoughtful conversations about happiness, identity, and emotional growth, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Elevate Daily. Now, let's explore this together. Let's start with something important. Missing who you used to be does not automatically mean your life is worse now. That's a very common assumption people make. They think, if I miss the old me, then I must be unhappy now. But often, the feeling is more complex than that. Because what we usually miss is not just a version of ourselves, it's a feeling we associate with that time. Freedom, hope, excitement, simplicity, possibility. When you think about who you used to be, your brain often filters the memory emotionally. You remember the feeling more than the full reality. And nostalgia has a very interesting way of softening the difficult parts of the past. You remember the late-night laughter, but not always the anxiety you also carried. You remember feeling carefree, but maybe you forget the uncertainty you had back then too. Our brains naturally romanticize certain memories, especially during periods where we feel stressed, overwhelmed, or disconnected in the present.
And that's because nostalgia can feel emotionally comforting. It gives us something familiar to hold on to. Now here's where things get deeper. A lot of people miss who they used to be because life slowly became heavier. Responsibilities increased, stress increased, expectations increased. As children or teenagers, many of us experienced life more directly. We were more present, more curious, less self-conscious. But as we grow older, we become more aware of pressure. Pressure to succeed, pressure to figure life out, pressure to keep up. And slowly, many people lose touch with the parts of themselves that once felt natural. Not because those parts disappeared, but because they got buried under stress and survival. Now let's talk about something many people don't realize. You are not supposed to stay the same forever. Growth changes you. Pain changes you. Experience changes you. Life changes you. And sometimes, when people say, I miss the old me, what they really mean is, I miss feeling emotionally alive. That's an important difference, because it means the solution is not necessarily becoming your past self again. It's reconnecting with the qualities you valued in that version of yourself. Maybe you miss your creativity, your confidence, your sense of wonder, your emotional openness. Those qualities may still exist inside you. They may simply need attention again. Now, here's something else worth understanding. Many people compare their current reality to selective memories from the past, and comparison, even with your own past self, can become unfair. because your past self didn't carry the same knowledge, responsibilities, or emotional experiences you carry now. You've changed because you've lived. And while that change can sometimes feel sad, it can also mean you've grown in ways you don't fully appreciate yet. Maybe you're more resilient now, more self-aware, more emotionally intelligent. Those qualities are quieter than youthful excitement, but they matter deeply. Now, let's talk about why this feeling has become especially common today. Modern life creates a strange relationship with memory. Social media constantly reminds us of old versions of ourselves, old photos, old videos, old memories. And while that can feel nostalgic, it can also create emotional comparison. You start idealizing a previous chapter of your life while becoming disconnected from the present one. And when people spend too much time emotionally living in the past, the present starts feeling emotionally flat. But here's the truth. You cannot build a meaningful future while constantly mourning a previous version of yourself. At some point, you have to stop asking, how do I become who I used to be? And start asking, how do I become someone I genuinely enjoy being now? That question changes everything. Because happiness is not about recreating the past perfectly. It's about reconnecting with what made you feel alive
and bringing those qualities into your current life. So, how do you actually do that? First, identify what you truly miss. Be specific. Do you miss having more energy, more freedom, more close friendships, more creativity? Because once you identify the real feeling underneath the nostalgia, you can begin rebuilding it intentionally. Second, stop romanticizing the past as perfect. Every stage of life contains beauty and difficulty. Your past self struggled too. You just see it differently now because memory softens certain edges over time. Third, reconnect with neglected parts of yourself. Maybe there are things you stopped doing because life became busy. Music, writing, sports, art, being playful, being spontaneous. Sometimes the old you is not gone. Sometimes they're simply waiting for space to exist again. Fourth, allow yourself to evolve without guilt. You do not owe the world permanent sameness. You are allowed to change. In fact, growth requires it.
And finally, build a relationship with the present version of yourself. Not just the future version, not just the past version, this one. The current you deserves compassion too, even if you feel confused, even if you're still figuring things out. Because this version of you has survived things your younger self never had to face, and that deserves respect. Before we wrap up, I want you to reflect on something honestly. If you met your younger self today, would they really be disappointed in who you became? Or would they simply see someone who kept going through difficult seasons of life? That perspective matters, because sometimes we judge ourselves far more harshly than anyone else ever would. If this video resonated with you, if you've been quietly missing an older version of yourself lately, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Elevate Daily. We're building a space where growth feels honest, gentle, and human. And I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you miss about the old you? And what's one quality you'd like to reconnect with in your current life? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help someone else feel less alone in theirs. Until next time, honor who you were, appreciate who you are, and remember, you are not losing yourself. You are still becoming. I'll see you in the next one.